Hi folks, Aleks U here, and I'm Aleks U, and you are awesome. I've got my lines here because smelling something nice stops the chatterbox and puts you right in the present moment, because the brain has to process the smell. In this case it's limes, and they're amazing, but it can be anything really, even bad smell. Obviously the good one is more enjoyable. Now today's topic is, are men less conscious than women? Generally speaking, are men less conscious than the women? I'm gonna put my lines here. We've got the timer kicking here, 10 minutes. Now, in a short answer, the answer is yes. With one word, yes. Men are less conscious, generally speaking, than women. And the reason that is so is because women are far more in touch with their being. They feel closer to the essence of life, the being of life, and further away from the ego. Now, men, it's not a secret, we are often driven by the egoic state of mind, right? The competitiveness, the drive. We could be forceful, attacking, violence, anger in general, right? Greed. Those are qualities that often are much more relevant to a male individual compared to a female individual, where the consciousness, or you can call it life, you can call it being, you can call it God, you can, whatever you want to call it, consciousness, life, it's described with different qualities: kindness, accepting, love, oneness. Those are very opposite of the ego or the manly drive, if you wish. So in generally speaking, men are less conscious than women. That, of course, doesn't mean that a male individual cannot become conscious. On the contrary, of course, a male can, through this egoic state, they can find, they can wake up, as we call it spiritually, they can find consciousness, wake up of the egoic state, because it's so much more painful. It's to live in anger, fight, motivation to succeed, and these drives that are specifically driven from the ego. You can be successful, that's not the problem. The problem is the drive behind it that is supposed to fulfill you, or feel some kind of a egoic lack. It will never happen, because the ego is never satisfied. So those living in those with those feelings and drives, it's a very painful experience. You're always going to be in distress. You're always going to be in some sort of physical pain. It's definitely an emotional confusion, if you want, or a constant state of emotional heaviness and unsatisfactory state of being. So from that point, a male individual can enter consciousness, or can awake, can find it's the being inside him that is always there, and it's never gone, because the cloud of the ego might feel so real and so unrealistic how we can get out of it, but underneath it, the being is still there. It will never not be there, because you, I, and it all has the being underneath it. This is in the being. The being is not outside somewhere. It's in you, through you, and everywhere. Now, in a relationship status where speaking about a male and a female, there's multiple opportunities. Even though female are more conscious and more in touch, generally speaking, more in touch with, they can be more in touch with their being and self. Could be the male that provides an opportunity for the female to wake up or to be present, and it could be the other way around. If the female is truly more in touch with her own feelings and being, and can provide that space for the male partner through the egoic patterns that we just described, and can witness those, can provide presence, can provide space, can provide allowing for the male individual to wake up. That is wonderful, because what we need to be very aware of is that in a relationship, if the female individual takes the role of, well, I'm more awake and you're always this attacking and violent in the relationship for the male, and now I'm creating this as if the female, I'm creating this stand against you. Now I'm creating an egoic a pattern or an egoic performance, if you wish, right? I'm standing behind my ego, and I'm not allowing you. I'm losing my touch with my own being, the female, in the relationship, and the male will not have the opportunity to wake up. And now we're having two egoic states going at each other. More pain, more unawareness, more sleeping while being awake, meaning sleeping into the shadow of the ego and living through it. So when we talk about genders, in the case of a female and a male, the male is less conscious, but it should not be a stopping point for any male individual. As I said, in fact, going through these painful patterns of the egoic way of living in a male will provide more opportunities to wake up. Whether it's a female or a female or male, it does not matter. At any point of time, we can become more conscious, we can become more alert, awake, and we can be in touch with our being. It does not depend on gender, but generally speaking, there is that females in generally carry more pain body because of all this oppression that's happened through the millennia. But we need to be very careful as a female. If I take that stand of creating this as an identity, like living with this, it can become an anger that in the past the women have been suppressed. Yes, that's correct. But if I make this an identity of myself right now, I am not letting go, and I'm living with the ego of this image for collective women pain that is in the past. So we're not coming out of it. We're carrying it and reliving it. And so yes, the pendulum can switch on the other side, where now we want more femininity, and that's great. But it needs to come from a place of love and forgiving and letting go, so that we can allow this earth and through that feminine and beautiful genuine being empowered to come as it is, as through being and not forced. Not now we women or the women need the power, no, to come through love and being, allowing men and women and all genders to be one on this planet. That's the goal. In oneness, we can all experience love, care, the beautiful joy of being alive, and the playfulness that life provides. In separateness, we live in a collective, if you wish, an individual ego state. It's not helping anyone. Now, so as I said, women carry more pain body collectively, and so that from there it allows them, that pain to wake up and be present, because it can be unbearable. It's an opportunity to wake up and say, well, I don't want to live like that, right? This pain body, I can provide awareness around it and space, and wake up out of it into the present moment, realizing that I'm a being and not the pain that I have, either collective from being a woman or as an individual woman as well. And then the male on the other side, living to this macho egoic mindset, often provides another kind of opportunity to wake up, because living through the egoic macho state or mindset, it's painful, it's difficult, it's challenging, it's forcing, it's unnatural, and provides all sorts of physical and emotional distress to any male, to any being really. And so both female and male groups can wake up from those states. The pain body, that's very common in women, and then this egoic, as I said, mind-led way or way of life through the mind, through this egoic structure, providing so much distress to the male. And so both groups can wake up from a different perspective, and the result is one. The result is being understanding and realizing that this can all be let go, and I can arise out of this pain or egoic mindset and realize that I'm one with life, that my being has never left me and never leave me, and it's always been fulfilled, complete, made of absolute pristine love that the mind cannot understand, cannot experience. It's already in you. Now I'm past the 10 minutes. That topic can be concluded like this. Yes, men are less conscious in general than women, and women carry more pain body in general than men. But in both situations, the opportunity to wake up is there. Now, I'm gonna leave you, and I'm gonna go make myself a lemonade with this lime. I hope you have a fantastic day anywhere you are, because you're a beautiful being. I know that. Until next weekend, when we have another 10 minutes and another wonderful topic, that I'm open for suggestions. Drop me a line. As I always say, less ego and a lot more present joy. Bye.